Oh yeah, check out the books, How to Be a Man for Fucking Dummies, and Chakras. Now, and just to clarify, How to Be a Man for Fucking Dummies is not about how to be a man who goes and crash test dummies.
Facts.
It's if you're a dummy, it's how to be a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll definitely get links from you so that we can post it in the YouTube clip. So you guys can check the YouTube, the description. The links for these books will definitely be there.
Okay, it's rolling, and we're fading in. Hey, welcome to the What's Your Ness podcast. I'm Spenny, and I'm joined as usual by Alexander the Great, my co-host with the most.
Yeah.
And we have a guest today. Alex, would you like to introduce our guest?
Hold on.
Huh?
You better tell them that shit. Tell them to do. They gotta do something when they come here.
Oh yeah, when you come here, you better like and subscribe. Before you even listen to the content of this podcast, just like and subscribe, because it's going to be good and it's going to be worth it.
Oh,
so go and do that.
So fucking worth it.
So
worth it. So
Alex, who's our guest today?
So today, brought on somebody I've known for many fucking moons, and I'm so happy that we were able to finally do it. We're in season 5, we're in season 5, and I know so many people that have done so many amazing things in their lives, and I just love that I was able to put this together, and we finally linked up. And this is my guy.
Facts,
you feel me?
Facts.
Corey. You feel me?
Yeah.
He got many aliases, but I met him as himself. I met him as himself.
From the name of my mama and my daddy. Yeah, no, that's real. Man, how y'all feeling, man? It's a pleasure to be here, man.
Most definitely. So this is the What's Your Ness podcast. And if you got, because so many people, hold on, I gotta say this because this really grinds my gears. So many people come to me and ask me, "Oh shit, I want to be on your podcast." And I say, "Okay, what's your Ness?" And they be like, "What?"
Like, yeah, what's your name?
I'm like, so you only seen the clips. You laughing at the clips, and you want to be on the podcast. You don't even understand what the podcast is about.
That's true.
Watch the episodes. Like, I'm going to make sure this is clipped. If you want to be on the podcast, watch the podcast so you can understand what the podcast is about. So we can bring you on and do the same thing and ask you. So Corey, what's your Ness?
My Ness is mindfulness.
Woo,
MindfulNESS.
Full of mind in Ness.
Man. Yeah. And with a little bit of self-awareness.
Yes. You need that. Mindfulness and self-awareness go together. So shit. Spinny, you know how we do? Pull that shit up.
All right.
Just don't pull it out.
I'll try not to, but sometimes I have difficulties.
Man, I don't know, man. Sometimes that might be the best time. To be honest, look.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to pull out.
Sometimes you might want to pull out more than that. Like,
all right. Mindfulness, the definition, thanks to Google here. Mindfulness is a state of present moment awareness that involves paying attention to thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings without judgment. It is a practice that cultivates a non-reactive and accepting attitude towards one's experience.
Yeah, I pay attention to thoughts all the time. I didn't know that was mindful.
Yeah, I might. I tweak that. I wouldn't. That was on point, but the only thing that I don't like about that is the judgment part, because you need to be very judgmental.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not judging shit, it literally makes no point in doing mindfulness.
Yeah,
because you feel me, you're not really aware.
You're not really, like I say, if you're not judging it, you're not too mindful of it, because you letting other things kind of dictate how you feel about it.
I mean, I can see it as like trying to see something from a different perspective, maybe like not like immediately judging something, but maybe
letting it
changing your judgment or adjusting it, observing something from a different angle.
That's
maybe
the best thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you being crucial about it, you're not being, it's not in stone, it's not concrete, but you are definitely being aware of what it is, like, because you're getting a description, because you're going to make your choices and how you going to move is going to be based off of what you see, so if it ain't, if you ain't judging, you might be doing bad.
Well, let's get this going. I want to ask you a question, since this is the mindfulness episode. Corey, bro, what does mindfulness mean to you?
Okay, so again, I would say that judgmental part is I'm gonna highlight that because for me, mindfulness is you being aware and alert of everything in the moment, and it doesn't have to just stay in that moment because you can move. It's not a just there. You know, it could be moment in the past, in the present, in the future. You just being mindful of it. Now, the main thing, if it is in the present, you being mindful of, again, the environment, your emotions. Main I say that's probably the most important factor is your emotions, because your emotions is going to influence everything as far as whether you're going to be reacting or you're going to be responding. You know, it's different, man, completely different. It's not the same thing. If you are not aware of your emotions and you're not mindful of them, somebody else can pick and poke and play and manipulate your emotions. So, and you won't even be realizing that they're doing it. Now, it works on with the manipulation with everything. It's not just emotion, mentally, you know, financially, socially, physically. Is when you're dealing with mindfulness, you're dealing with paying attention to what's being manipulated around you. So you feel me? You're not caught up in it. You ain't swept off guard. So I don't even know if I answered the question. What the fuck?
I think that was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spinny, what does mindfulness mean to you, man? Because Spinny likes to just press buttons and set up cameras because he's our audio, video, everything guy. You know, Spinny does everything. So he likes to just sit over there and be the IT guy. But no, I like to get him involved. What does mindfulness mean to you, Spinny?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's nice about being the IT guy and just pressing buttons is I can just kind of sit back and absorb and be mindful and listen. And then I get put on the spot. And then it's like, it takes a different level. It kind of takes me out of mindfulness in a way because it's like so many things. Like I say something and then I want to see how you react. So I hit the button and go over there. And you know, but to stop dodging the question, I think mindfulness, I mean, I agree with everything that Corey said. And I think, you know, it's that kind of what I was getting at earlier, the observation of thoughts, you know, especially I like that respond, not react, because I think it's taking a step, taking a moment to observe, you know, what events are going on in your life and how you're reacting to those events, how you're responding to those events, and why you responded a certain way to something and how you could respond a certain way in the future. Okay. And just taking that moment to kind of observe yourself.
That moment. That moment is key.
Yep.
I want to know what you think.
Yeah.
You feel me? For sure. But I was just going to say, like, to piggyback off of what you were saying, the moment, even though it's such a small time period, you know, when things is happening and then your adrenaline is pumping, everything slows down.
Yeah.
That moment is so crucial, and it could play such a big part between life and death, whether it be your own and other people, you know. And it's like, regardless of whatever environment you in, you know, whether it's driving, whether you at a concert or event, maybe you feel me, you in the town or you in the city on a night out, you know, whether you with your girl, you don't know when shit gonna happen. But if you're not paying attention, you ain't being mindful, you know,
look out. Yeah.
Now go ahead.
Okay, so mindfulness with me personally, it's overall observation. That's how I see mindfulness, because I'm a hyper observant individual, and I've had to tell women when I'm dating them that I'm mindful of everything, because I'll like give them some instruction on something or some guidance on something, and they'll come back and they'll tell me, I'm not you don't understand. I'm like, you think that the instruction I gave you was for me? I gave you that instruction tailor made for you, for what I see you say that you want out of life, for what I see that you actually go after in life, for what I see that you have the energy to even finish. I've given you guidance on all of that. Because at times a woman has came back and said something to me like, oh, you can't do that. Remember what you said to me? I said that to you because of you. I said, me, I take more shit. I put up with more shit. I go harder. You feel me? Like, my life is set up to where I'm willing to have a harder life to have a better life. And you not necessarily, I seen that you're not necessarily built for that. So I'm not going to tell you to go hard how I go hard. So when you come to me talking about what I gave you, that's not for me, because I'm willing to be broke for months, for years, to get to the point where I will never be broke again. And you not ready for that level of commitment or dedication to a situation. So I'm mindful of that, baby. And the instruction I gave you was out of love. It wasn't out of trying to correct you or change you or control you. It was out of pure love and trying to help you. And my mindfulness is at a different level than yours, which is why I'm giving you this direction.
Ooh, you cooking.
So that's what mindfulness is for me, because like I said, I feel like I'm one of the, if not the most mindful person I know, because I'm super macro. Like everything in life, I'm super macro, and then I like the source. I'm a source guy. So it's like okay, like I like I said, just going back, because I deal with women. I've had women come to me complaining about their child, because, some of them are single mothers or whatever. And they'll be like, oh, my daughter doesn't do this or doesn't do that. And when I tell her to do something, she doesn't right? So like I said, I'm on the phone with these women sometimes, and I'll be like, right here, stop. I'm like, stop. Remember you told me that 3 days ago? I said, I know how you see how you blowing off this moment right here. This is why she doesn't listen to you. Yep. This moment right here. I'm like, because the core of the issue is that sometimes you let it go, and your child has no idea to know
sometimes
when you're going to let it go.
Sometimes
I'm saying, because at a certain point it comes to a head, and then they lash out at their children for it. So it's like you have to show some level of consistency in your messaging and your movement for her to listen to you. Why should she listen to you if what you say today might not be the rule or the law tomorrow?
It's gonna change.
If it's a moving target, how can she ever follow your lead or listen to what you're saying? You have to always and every time let her know that this is and this ain't okay.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Like, I even had a conversation with my daughter recently, because I brag about my daughter all the time, and I tell, like I said, people complain about their kids. Yeah. And I tell people, when my daughter was in elementary school, she lived with me for a full year. Her mother was getting her shit together, and like I said, we co-parent. We don't judge and all that other shit. My daughter needed to stay with me for a little bit. She stayed with me for a little bit, That whole school year, how I got my daughter ready for school in elementary school was this. The alarm went off, and I did this. My daughter got up. She got her school clothes ready. She got dressed. She brushed her teeth. She washed her face. She got her backpack ready. She got everything ready. And then she came back and woke me up. And then I just got up and drove her to school. And I talked to my daughter about that recently. And I was like, I don't see how people be having an issue with it. And my daughter said to me that when I nudged her and she just got up, she said she got up because she didn't think she had a choice. And she didn't. Because she know, if I'm not playing with you, this is not a game. I'm not, get up. Oh, you need to go do this. Why we got to do this every morning? I'm not doing that.
Yep.
I love you way too hard, and I do too much for you to be playing with me. You woke, you felt it, you know what time it is. You know who your daddy is, and it's time. This is I'll let you have all type of freedom when you come home and your homework is done. You can do anything you want. But when it's time to go, it's time to go.
I gotta interject on two
Talk
things.
To me.
Piggyback, because you over here cooking, man. I don't know, is making gumbo, but it's like the first thing that I want to interject on is when it comes to single parents. Mostly, what I notice when it comes to more women, single parents. The reason why it's such an issue with that mindfulness thing, because we're talking about being mindful, the foundation is never set from the jump. And I'm talking about in the womb, before it's already, you got to get it laid down. What is the land of the law? What are the rules? Most parents, they don't have that from the jump. They wait until the child is out of the toddler stage and is somewhere between 6. It's when the cute stage starts to fade. 6, 7, 8. that's when they try to start to implement rules and, hey, don't do this, don't act like this, don't do this. You gotta, hey, talk a little bit better. You know, the stuff that they did when they were infants, toddlers, growing up, that stuff was cute then, but it stopped becoming cute when the cute phase changed. And it's like they weren't mindful of the things that was happening in the infant, in the toddler, the young stages. Like, children are so advanced even at that age, and you have to give them, you got to give them that roadmap. Yeah. You got to give them rules.
And let me give you this quick side note. My daughter, I argued with my family. My daughter wasn't allowed to get gifts that I didn't deem worth her intelligence. You know, like when my daughter was little, they had to come to me and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna get her a kitchen set. Okay, that's cool. She's 3. She can learn. She can fake cook. She see me and her mama cook and stuff. Like, mindfulness, like I said. And it's not just like, oh, it's a baby, let them have the toys. It's like you said, you're building something. And I feel like, I feel like all of that stuff, the first 7 years of a child's life are the most important. And like you said, you have to set that foundation.
Got to.
You know, but keep going. Yeah.
So now to the other point that I was going to make, it connects to this point. The thing that I notice with a lot of women, not all, but with a lot of women, the thing that they look for, even you just see it right now when it comes to dating, you know, they talk about the masculinity, you know, that men aren't as masculine or how they were before, or, you know, dating out here is such a hard thing. A lot of women are looking for men to structure their lives because they don't really structure their own lives, because women, that's not their role. They're not really as good when it comes to discipline, not really as good when it comes to intense focus, and not really as good when it comes to creating these things for themselves. Now, if they're given this playbook, like, for example, from any type of institution, whether it be their job, you know, or their career, or whether it be education, you know, they're going to excel because they're giving
structure,
bingo,
and direction,
you
guidance.
Feel me? So when it comes to relationships for a man, we don't have that same type of luxury, and we have to give ourselves that type of structure, you know? So when you go out and you meet a woman before y'all get together, you know, y'all do the house thing, y'all, you know, all of that, you have your structure together, and she gets on your program. Your program is going to dictate the program of where things are going to go. But a lot of dudes don't have a program set up for themselves. And even worse, some dudes will come get on a woman's program, but that will never work. You can never be on her program because her program is not built for you, because women don't build programs for even themselves. So if you are relying on her program, you're going to be doing bad. You're not. It's two different thought processes. And the way that we interpret, or the way that we move based on the yays and nays of society, you know, the norms. And it's like, for a guy, you have to set up that foundation, because whatever foundation you give her, she's going to pass it on to the children.
Facts.
And then it's passing on to the next generation. But if you have, and you said something that was really, really interesting, when you have, the influence may not necessarily come from too far in the environment. It may come from the immediate environment, as far as, you know, the village. They may be bringing the things that is harmful or hinderous to your structure, you know? And it's like, in their mind, because they're not mindful, you know, they think that it may be doing something else than what it actually is accomplishing in reality. So it's like, you'll be battling with your own people to set up your foundation for your child. And
that happened in more than one way. Like, I would come to, like, you know, family events, and my daughter, I knew my daughter still had homework or still had reading or something to do. And she would come in, and she know what I expect of her. So she would go do that. And I come to find out, you know, but me and my daughter so locked in, it was good. But I come to find out, I had aunties, cousins coming to my daughter, telling her she could do it later. Like, undermining my authority in the situation. But me and my daughter locked in, so she said, no, my dad told me.
Yeah.
You know, my dad told me XYZ, right?
Yeah.
And then I had the same family members come to me. You need to. We're with family. Just let her.
Yeah,
No.
That's not the program.
And then now my daughter is who she is in college. I've had those same family members come back and was like, I should have did what you did.
They never see it because they're not mindful in the moment. Because then that's what is key about mindfulness. Like, it gives you such a micro macro view of everything. You're able to shift your perception and your point of view to see it from other angles. Most people don't have that. They got a tunnel vision, and the vision is bad because it comes from something based off of indoctrination, or based off of something that's rooted in, you know, some lies, or it may not be exactly what it is. Like you playing Chinese whispers or the telephone game. You know, it's not what it was from when it originally started.
Even the Wolf and the Villager. You heard about that one?
Boy Crying Wolf, or
no. Wolf and the Villager is basically was it Among Us, or was it the damn game where
like Mafia or Among Us?
I don't know about Mafia.
One of them's like an imposter. There's an imposter.
Yeah. So I'll give you the.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a study.
Okay.
I'll give you the fast version, like I said, but it's basically like about Among Us. And they said that they did a study, and they had a group of students run this study, and like 90% of the time the people lost, right? To where they put two wolves in the group, you know, and then there's 10 villagers or whatever, right? And how they ran the study is that everybody goes to sleep, and then the two wolves they point at somebody and they die and whatnot.
You're sitting in a circle. We would do it in theater camp. It was called Mafia. There's two mafias.
See, there we go.
So there's like the narrator. Everyone goes. You close your eyes, and then like if you get 2 taps on your shoulder, you're in the mafia. If you get 1 tap on your shoulder, you're a townsperson. And then they also have like different things like the investigator who can like try to find the mafia. But the basic version is just the mafia and the townspeople. And yeah, when you open your eye, they'll be like, the person around the game will be like, okay, everyone close your eyes, like town goes to sleep. Okay, now Mafia awake. Now Mafia, you silently agree on someone you're going to kill. And then they point at someone, and then they're like, okay, everyone go to sleep. All right, town awakes, and then they tell a story about how this person got killed, and that's like the theatrical part of it. But then the town has to figure out who the mafia are.
This wasn't theatrical, but it's like that, to where it's like, okay, now that person's dead. Now we need to talk and figure out who are the killers. And then everybody talks, and the killers are in the group having the conversation.
So they're trying to convince everyone to kill the wrong person.
Man, you know what? I heard Chris's foot move, so maybe he's a killer. And then they kill 2 people, and then they let you know, neither one of those were the wolves. Those 2 people were villagers, and then 2 more people die. And they said like 90% of the time the wolves won, to where they might have caught one, but they didn't catch both. And it was speaking to that. A majority with more knowledge. I mean, a minority with more knowledge than a majority can rule.
Facts.
Because they have more. Just having more information and knowing because you see who the other wolf is.
Yeah.
So you also trying to kick people off of his trail, right? Also, so you trying to kick people off his trail. You trying to keep people off of yours, and you trying to get people on each other.
Yeah.
Or you can go bad on the other wolf and like sell them out, and then everyone thinks you're so smart. But then that can be like, well, how did you know all that? And then that's the way to lose.
So it's like it was speaking to how a minority with extra knowledge about things can rule a majority, because they just don't know any better, and humans are emotional.
It's hella funny you said that, because like based on those 2 things alone, most people don't know shit and they're hella emotional. That's all mindfulness is.
Yeah.
Like,
so let me ask this: when is mindfulness most important in your life?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Always, like, it's always important. It's always important, and the reason why I say it's always important because it's relevant to every aspect of your life. Let's say, for example, you are dealing with your careers. So depending on what industry you're going into, depending on what passions you have, depending on what experiences you have to be mindful. But you're not just mindful of your experiences and if you're able to do it as far as performance. You got to be mindful to see hey, is this actually what I want to do? Like, I'm going to be putting this time in, because if you're not mindful of that, you'll end up doing something and you'll get stuck there, and then 10 years pass and you're like, damn, I hate my life. You know, didn't want to do it. Switching over gears. If it was relationships, say something a little bit similar. So you was messing with this female, you feel me? She was cool. She was fire. She was on point, you know, like physically, like fuego.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sex game, it had you in a headlock. Yeah. But the thing that was an issue was she lacked emotional intelligence and control, and she had a mouth on her. You feel me?
Communication.
So it was, and not just, okay, so boom, I'm going to add that on to it. So not only was it issues when it comes to her delivering messages, but it was issues when it comes to her receiving messages and interpreting what you were saying to her.
Man,
you feel me?
I went through that not too long ago, and I had to, you know, kind of like lock in and figure it out. And it was just, like I said, I try to teach people how to thrive, you know, and a lot of people come from a space of survival. And it's like trying to teach somebody how to thrive, this used to survival is a daunting task. And it's like, at a certain point, I realized it wasn't me. Yep. Like, cause I like to take blame for anything in my life, you know, cause I feel like I have control over everything in my life, but I don't have control over the other people.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you're a part of my life, I feel like now I can do something to help you. But then I've come to terms that
we're going to add that to the scenario.
Yeah. I've come to terms that some people are where they are, and you can't, there's nothing you can do. They have to grow in their own process. They have to get there on their own time. I can't rush somebody else's process. So
I assume when it was the scenario happening, you wasn't thinking that from the jump. You was thinking, hey, I could probably change her. I could help her.
Yeah,
you know,
I can help her for sure.
But then reality set in, things happen. And that's why I was about to say with the scenarios, you see the woman and she has all of these things, but you're ignoring the red flags. You're not mindful of them. Or they look like Six Flags, and you like, hey man, let's you know.
Also,
you think it's controllable.
But I'm saying also, you know, I'll speak to this. At our age, you know, I'm 30 plus, you know, getting close to other numbers. It's like I'm not gonna find nothing perfect, and I'm not gonna find nothing without issues, because they've lived life too.
Okay, so wait.
So that was my rationalization. That was my mindfulness, that there's always going to be something. There's going to be something I'm going to have to take a concession on. I'm not going to find anybody perfect.
That's true. I will say, okay, so yes, to a degree.
Okay. Of course, to a degree.
It's a big world,
yeah.
You know? So it's like, yeah, you may not necessarily get everything, but you have to be mindful of what it is that you can deal with and what is that you can't tolerate. You get what I mean?
Most definitely. And this I love that you say that, and I'm gonna say this quick thing, and I'm gonna let you finish. One thing that I try to do to help women that come to me about, like I said, not being able to find a good man, I tell them all this. I say, right now, find 3 non-negotiables. 3. Not 5, not 10, not 7. 3. I said, find 3 non-negotiables. And if you dealing with a dude and he doesn't affect or go against, violate any of your non-negotiables, you need to stick through it. Because I feel like a lot of women, they get into shit and then, oh, this nigga snored, I can't deal with him no more. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know, so I feel like it's like they're waiting for a reason to leave, and it's like, but you're telling me you want a man, you want a relationship, you want a family or whatever, but it's like some of the reasons I hear you say that you can't fuck with somebody no more
because they didn't want to be there from jump.
Yeah, so I'm like,
they're looking for something.
So I'm like, in the way I focus them, like you said, to give them some guidance is 3 non-negotiables. If this, you know, if your non-negotiable is the man, you know, verbally abusing you or physically abusing you, or, you know, maybe it's sexual. Maybe you want a man that satisfies you sexually, you know? If that's a non-negotiable for you, okay. If you fucking with this dude and he not laying it down how you need him to lay it down, you need to leave then. Yeah. Because he wasting your time for what you're actually looking for. But if he laying it down and you didn't like that he had to call off, you know, he had to reschedule something for you, and it's like, oh, I can't have no nigga not rescheduling shit with me. It's like, what are you talking about? You know,
it's now even those three things. You said you told them to find 3 non-negotiables. Those 3 non-negotiables is 3 things they have to be mindful of.
Facts.
Even in that moment. It's everywhere. You feel me? It's everywhere. And to go back to the scenario with the woman, like let's say it was you had your 3 non-negotiables. And let's say it was 2 out of 3. You feel me? And you was like, damn, it's a red flag, but I really like the sex. It's fire. And the way she looked when she put on that, I'm like, man. So you give her a pass. And you notice that one of those red flags, it gets a little louder. You know, every time that she does it, it gets a little bit louder because it's one of those things that it's a comfort. So she's mindful that, yeah, it's a trigger for you, but you letting it slide. So because you let it slide, it's going to keep sliding. And it grows and it grows and it grows and it becomes, eventually it spins out of control or snowball.
Yeah, it slides and then it becomes an avalanche.
And a lot of times, and I was just saying, if you are mindful of it, 9 times out of 10, most people are not even mindful of those red flags, but they'll participate, you feel me, with it. And they like, man, they trying to put it together and build with this person and make it happen. And it's like, no, you should never even been with this person from jump. You ignored everything that was saying, hey, bruh, she's going to fuck up your life. Hey, he's not anything. You feel me? You ignored it because of the other things you weren't mindful. You get what I mean?
I think that's... I hope people watch this episode, and if you didn't get anything, you get, like I said early on in the episode, you got that bar. Yeah. I think a lot of us need to just be more mindful, because I see people on the internet talking about how these women is horrible, these men is horrible. Facts. And it's just like,
you're horrible at picking.
Yeah. and so somebody tried to argue with me. They was like, okay, well, what if a dude this, that, and the third, and then the chick switch up? I said, he did bad. Yeah. I said, he did bad. I'm like, because it was a conversation about, it might have been on one of your posts, you or more, you know, y'all be getting them going. Yeah. So mindful. Yeah. So like I said, and I'm like, bro, it's always you, because you made the decision.
Facts. Always.
And that's the type of person I am, because I feel I have 3 principles, and my second principle is mind, body, and soul is all I control. And what that principle tells me is that I never let anything outside of my body affect inside of my body, because I don't have any control over that. I can manipulate, I can sway, I can do all type of stuff to everything outside of my body. But all I control is what I do.
Facts. So
I need to be more mindful of that shit. So it's like when things go wrong in my life, I'm not like, oh man, Corey did this to me. I'm like, what did I do to allow Corey to even be close enough to, you know, affect me like that? Or what did I do wrong to make Corey react like Facts. That? You know, like I'm thinking about
what hand did I play?
Yeah, how did I fuck up?
But that's one of the things that is also a major difference as far as the social norms and what's accepted in society when it comes to men and women. Because for men, you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable. You have to be aware and mindful of everything you do. And how did you get involved in every situation, whether it be on the road to success or as things of failure, you know, whether it be with your personal relationships, the people around you, your intimate relationships, your family, dealing with your children, dealing with your work, everything, because you are building up your legacy, you feel me, and your foundation, because when you get your woman or women or whatever you decide to get, they're going to get a part of your program. And if you're not mindful of these things, you're going to give a bad program, and it's going to be a lot of chaos, you know. And women, they don't necessarily have to be mindful or as accountable, but due to the shift in where things are, everybody's on equal playing field. Everybody has to be more mindful and accountable, because it's not, what's the word? Life isn't fair. You know? Yeah. And it's like the way things should be, that's one thing, but the way things are, that's reality.
Bro, you know? Literally. So, damn, I'm out myself, whatever. Literally just had somebody in my room just chopping it up, right? We chopping it up, you know? I have a whiteboard. On my whiteboard is some of my principles, but also some of my, you know, aspirations and some of my stock stuff and all the other shit, right? And I just, under my principles is another phrase that I wrote I wrote it talking to somebody else, but I felt like it was so powerful I needed to have it on the board.
Fire.
And what that phrase is Don't deal with things how they should be. Deal with things how they are.
Yeah.
And now that is part of my core beliefs.
Facts.
Because too many people say, "Oh, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't."
Shoulda,
Man, I don't care about what you shoulda. You feel me? If your kid need this and your baby daddy ain't shit or whatever the case may be, what are you gonna do now? Like I said, complaining about him is not gonna get him to do something, you know. And like I said, that's not the way to sway somebody's but sensibility. Also,
women get that crutch, but it's crucial because it's interesting because men feel like a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the shows and a lot of the stuff that you would see, it'd be dudes complaining about wanting to be on equal playing field and being. The reality is it's not equal. It's not. We're not the same. We're not built the same. We do not operate the same. We do not think the same. And if you are going to be engaging with that sex, you have to be aware of that, especially if you're going to be building with them, because you have to be able to see things from their point of view, not only to save yourself a lot of headaches, but so you can be mindful to know when it's, hey, let me put my foot down, or hey, let me let it slide. It's whatever. But also too to know, no, yes, I like her. She has potential. Let me pay attention. And nope, her. You have to be able to do that. Like, and if you're not mindful of the little shit, like before you even get, a lot of dudes just be trying to bust that nut. No, pay attention. You feel me first. Like,
I don't know, bro. That nut is important.
Man, it is, but you feel me? It's like the reason it's a big world. It's a really big world. Really, 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 really big world with a lot of flavors, all beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of good pussy everywhere. Good head is a skill. It's not as easy to find as good pussy. But
man, that's what I be trying to tell people. I'm like, bro, I've been having sex since I was 12. That's over 20 years of intercourse, and I probably had bad pussy like once.
What was bad?
And I still nutted.
Yeah.
What was bad about it? Why was it? How was it?
Only look it. Out of all the things that I've done in my life, I only had 2 bad experiences. And it wasn't even bad. I still, like I said, I finished each experience, but the first one, I was in high school. I got to this chick and she was highly promiscuous. The homie already told me about her. I went to knock her down. Pretty sure she was underage, dealing with overage men. I went in that joint, and you feel me? Like I said, I done had a couple experiences before her, so I knew what I was. I thought I knew what I was doing, So I went in that joint, I turned left, and I almost fell out of her shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's the only person that ever happened to. But I was in high school, I went in, and I turned left, and I was like, oh, shit, hold on, there's nothing there. Yeah. And then I had one chick that I encountered, and it was just, it wasn't properly lubricated naturally.
Okay.
That's the only 2 experiences. And like I said, still in both of those experiences, like, I finished. Yeah. And I said, I'm only saying I finished so you women can understand a man wanting to hit you don't matter. He could not be enjoying himself, Facts. Ejaculate, and go on by this day, and you think, oh no, he nutted fast. Sometimes he nutted fast because he was not enjoying himself. So he was like, I'm gonna get something out of this.
I feel like most of the time it's like, man, if you bust quick 9 times out of 10, it probably wasn't that good, or you was way too excited. But it's like when it's really good, you
savor.
Oh man, you gonna do everything. It's gonna, and that's the thing. It's not really. I don't really think it's like you. I ain't gonna say I never really had any trash pussy, but it'd be a lot of mid, and then it'd be ones that be like, oh yeah, this was, and then it's the level where it'd be like the 1 or 2 that just be like you'll never forget them. You'll remember them forever. And then there's a lot that you just forget.
But look, I'm gonna tell you this. Like I said, and then I want us to get. I want to ask you another question because I know you've done a lot in your life. Like people, I forgot how much I did in my life until people started telling me about it, and then I thought about it. I was like, bro, fucking amazing.
He brought up the video shoot, and I was like, this is really like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Dude,
fun fact. Me and Corey, I've seen because I recognize him because he's in footage from the Cupcake No Fillin' video that we shot back in summer of 2007. Yeah.
Almost 20. almost 20.
And I'm gonna look up and send you that clip
That's
later.
so crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Damn,
Man.
what was I talking about?
Pussy.
We was the pussy. We was talking. We was talking about good pussy, man.
And
No, but
mindfulness.
But I was
Mindful
transitioning
good
to
pussy.
something else, and y'all made me lose my train of thought. All right, well, I guess I'll come back to it. So,
Talking about how he did a lot of things in his life.
Yeah. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You was like, I have done a lot of things.
no, but
was
I
like-
had a point before that, and I was
It
just,
jogged your memory about some of the things because you forgot how many things you've done until something.
No, before I had a point before that. That was just that was a segue.
Oh,
See,
you was building
we've
up
been
to
doing this for a minute, so that was a segue for you.
Okay.
For after I said what I said, I was gonna segue to all the things you done in your life.
Damn.
You know, so I don't even remember what I was saying. Y'all catch it later on if I remember it.
Yeah.
So let's just go to the segue. Like I said, you've been a part of a lot of shit in your life, bro.
That's facts.
You feel me? You a lot of shit that some people might not even know you was a part of. You feel me? They enjoy they got lifelong memories, baby daddies, fights, and all type of other shit
Man.
from shit that you've done, you know, and they didn't know you was a part of it. So I know that you've thrown some amazing parties in the Bay, but I want to ask you this question. How has mindfulness played a role in your ability to throw successful events, you know, with all of the events that you've thrown in your lifetime? And maybe give us a little precursor of some of the shit that you was a part of.
Okay, so this is probably gonna come out. People in out here who do events is going to be offended, but I know for a fact that me and my cousin, we do events better than anybody else out here, and I'm mindful of this. Now, the reason of why I say that is because when we do an event, it's an experience. A lot of people, they do events, and this is part of the mindfulness of why our events are so successful and they do so much better than everyone else. I'm not just talking about how many people show up, because it's always packed. It's always going to be, oh, everybody's not getting in. It's always going to be jumping. It's always going to be smacking. But it's a certain type of experience that we would like to give. And we're mindful of what everyone else is, because, again, we've been doing this since old school Candy Shop over there on West.
What you know about, you know,
We used to do
hold
events
on.
at Candy Shop.
Do you know this? Do you know the stage that was at Candy Shop the Trunk Boys built?
No, but I do remember having y'all perform. I remember asking y'all to come perform.
We was already talking to that lady. We was like, bro, this is a great space for like events.
What?
And we came in with the little fucking slats and shit, and we put together the stage that everybody performed at Candy Shop. The Trunk Boys did that.
That's hella funny, because I know we was doing events up there. Like, we started when I was like 15, and I think that was like 2006 into 2005. So, and we was doing them up there. I can't remember Z-Mom name, but
Yeah, that lady. Like I don't remember her name
with the
either.
locks
But
over
we talked to her,
Yeah.
and we came in and was like, this is a great space to do, and we built the fucking stage, bro.
That's and then you end up performing on the stage.
Yeah. Like I said, like everybody came through there. Like
Yeah,
you said,
for sure.
fucking Burnout, fucking Mob
Pack.
Squad, fucking D-Lo. Everybody was on, bro.
Man, this was
Candy
back
Shop
then.
was that spot,
Yeah.
bro.
This was, man, when you know, the pack in them was moving with the vans. You had what was starring them, the Diligence, you feel me?
Yep. Ride or
That
Die.
was when A's, they had that studio over there at the Vault. It was I think it was on like 14th at the top, where you remember where it was on between, I think, 13th and 14th and Broadway. You know, where across the street.
Between 13th and 14th.
Okay, so you remember where Subway used to be at? Across the street?
I don't know,
right by the bar?
because what I remember also, because I used to fuck with Short, and Short had a studio right next to Everett and Jones.
Yep,
But
down there.
fucking
It was the A studio. Poke used to DJ up there at the top.
yeah. See, I don't
was-
know, like I said, but
this was
because
like 07, 06.
even like some of the people from Tony Tone, they had a studio like
Yep.
over by like,
Wayne
but
Williams,
yeah, it was more towards it was. Like into the higher numbers. It wasn't into the 13th. It was like 15th, 16th or something. He had a studio. Like I went in there one time with Short, just
had hella
fucking
one.
around.
I know he had one over there on 17th too, over by the lake.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay. So mindfulness about what played a role in the ability to throw events. Let's get back to that.
So because we've been doing it for so long, you feel me? It gained experience. Shout out to old school Gene who passed. You feel me? He was a legend when it came to them Black Saturdays. You feel me? All them old events, and seeing what people was doing and how they organized their events. A lot of people, even to this day, they depend on just the artists. They'll just get the artists and they depend on the
clout.
Yeah, or what the venue is already bringing. And they think that is just going to be a successful event based on that. If you spend money, you get a good artist and they put it up, then you feel me? That's it. That's all you got to do. No, it's so much more. It's so much work that you have to do every night, every weekend. It's so many things that you have to do, and you have to be intentional about it. And this where the mindfulness comes.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna speak to that because I just said that to somebody the other day. I told her, I said, man, a lot of times, I said people go into things and they think that if I put in this amount of effort, I will get what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's false.
And I'm like, I was like, I'm telling you, I know from experience that it don't work like that. When you get in it, it's going to tell you what it needs from you, and either you're going to give it or you're going to be like, why is it? Well, this is so hard. Well, it shouldn't be this hard, because like I said, it's about people talking about how things should be and how they are
to a degree. Because I feel like
talk to me.
What you said earlier. Remember, you was talking about doing the hard things, and it's like, again, it's one of those things for men. You have to enjoy doing the hard things, because when you do the hard things and you could be comfortable doing the uncomfortable things, everything becomes easy, and you become a genius of hard work. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. Is if you could get a knack for it, you're gonna outperform everybody else because you're staying consistent and you're keep going. A lot of people, they throw in the towel or they don't push themselves to work hard enough. You get what I mean? Especially
I concur.
With doing events or marketing or any type of advertisement, whatever it is that you pushing. People will do the bare minimum and they think that they're doing a lot. No, you have to go over beyond the call of duty, and then you have to keep going over and beyond the call of duty until you cross the finish line, until the event is over or whatever that thing is that you're trying to accomplish. And being mindful of what it takes to get there is just one step. Being mindful of yourself while you actually in the action of doing it, and you are being aware of your performance, that's a whole nother thing. And it's good to have somebody there who is also on the same kind of hype, because when you lacking, you feel me, they can point it out and say, hey man, we got to step it up in this area. They're going to see something that you may not be able to see, but it's still something that, you mindful of the criticism, and you taking it without, you feel me, getting the attitude, without getting all butt hurt, and you're gonna do it because that's what it takes to get that ring.
Yeah, dog. And that's something that Tim Glover, Michael Jordan's trainer, said. He said something that really stuck with me, and like I said, it kind of gave me that bar to give to the person I was telling about. I was like, too many people go into things thinking that if I do this amount of effort, I'll get the outcome that I'm looking for. Yeah. But he said success has a different price every day, and you have to come to success every day figuring out if you want to pay it.
Facts.
And that stuck with me, because it was like, he was like, you think that, oh man, if I train this hard, but it's like, nah, success comes to you, and it's like, this is how much it costs. Facts. And you have to be willing to pay that, or you gonna just give what you have. And if you give what you have, you gonna get what you got. And a lot of people don't understand that level of mindfulness, of being mindful enough to understand that what I thought this costs, it actually costs more, and I'm willing to give it.
And it ain't just financial. You're gonna be given something else to gain, and it's not gonna always just come, you feel me, in the form of finances and money and material things. Sometimes you really got to give a sacrifice for something that it may be a habit, it may be something that it pleases you, a pleasure. You might got to sacrifice. Sometimes it may be friendships, sometimes it may be family members, sometimes it could be your lover, you feel me, because they don't see your dream, you feel me, and they roadblocking your shit. You got to make that sacrifice. You get what I mean? And I say, as far as for the events, one of the things that I say that separated our events and what allowed them to be so successful is that the experience that we wanted people to get, we always wanted them to have fun and we wanted them to be safe. That's the main thing. You feel me? That's how we make a lot of money. We guarantee you come, you're going to have the time of your life. You're not going to go out no other time, you feel me, in the Bay Area and have this type of fun, because we set it up inside the event for it to be different things that everybody else is not going to do. That's going to be incentives, you feel me, to be like, damn, this just made my night a whole lot better. It don't matter if it's a dance contest on the stage and you feel me, some girls is riding, big ass pink dolphins, or,
Pink dolphins.
man, right. Whether we giving out a lot of money to the best dressed couples, whether we giving out 100 to 200 shots, or whatever we doing, it's going to be multiple things. And again, most people there just bring out an artist and they depend on the artist in the venue. No, you do so much more, to make people be like, hey, this experience is the best night I've ever had in my life.
Okay,
that's it.
I want to ask you another question then. I like where we're going with everything. So can you describe to me a time when being mindful of the energy in a room helped you avoid a bad business decision? Because like I said, you clearly, all of this, I know you made some money doing it, so it cost you some money. So I know you at least had to make your money back. Oh, these venues ain't free. All of this setup ain't free. The DJ ain't free. So tell me about that.
I say, a thing that also, when it comes to not just picking out the venues or, dealing with that, but also just keeping yourself alive. Because when you really get a knack for picking up energy and you become mindful of stuff, and you can read situations, like it's random, but death has a certain type of feel. It has a certain type of vibe. You can tell when some shit is finna go kind of like, ooh, it's finna get
don't lie to these people. When you from Oakland, you can feel. So okay, continue.
I'm gonna be honest, and it's you feel me. It's something that you do. If you will notice it here, but I feel like it's in every hood. You feel me? It's a certain type of vibration. It's a certain type of energy that's in the air. It's a feeling, and when you become aware of it, you feel me. You can never it's unrecognized. You always gonna recognize it. You know. Same thing if you with a female or you with a couple of females and they choosing. You know the feeling. You get what I mean? Because you've interacted with it so much. So I will say that's probably one of the main things that being mindful has done for me. Now, when it comes to actually selecting the venues or doing business with certain people, being mindful of their actions and their habits, and when it comes to business primarily, are people going to do what they're going to say the first time? If you say you're going to do something, you feel me, and it don't happen, what is the reasons? And then it's like, okay, let's say for this, we supposed to do this podcast. I know what time it was. We agreed up on it, and I didn't show up. It's 7:00. It's 8:00. It's 9:00. It's tomorrow. You ain't hear nothing from me. You get what I mean? It'd be like, damn, what happened? You get what I mean? If people do shit like this, you feel me, and they act like nothing ever happened, but the proper thing to do would be like, hey, ahead of time, you feel me? If you know something is going to happen, or if you caught up in something, be mindful, you feel me, of the situation that you set up. Be mindful of other people's time and what they got going.
I think also people weren't taught punctuality. So I will say this, like I said, and I'm not making excuses for people because I don't, but I do observe humans. It's something that I enjoy doing. And I think a lot of people don't understand punctuality. So they think that, if something goes wrong and I'm 15, 20, 30 minutes late, that's okay.
I'm going to be honest. That's a bad person to do business with.
No. I concur. But I'm saying some people think that. So then when they get into these situations, they like,
Can I keep it a buck?
Cut me off. Go.
My bad.
No. Go. You know where I was going. So go.
You just made me think about something, like even when it comes to picking females. You feel me? That 30 minutes, no call, no text. It's like your job. If you go to your job, you feel me? And this is how I gauge people, because I know when people is going for a job or when they at work, they give their job a certain amount of respect. You feel me? Because they know they're not going to get that check. They're going to get fired. I take that approach when it comes to my business, when it comes to my relationships, and when it comes to my social engagement. You feel me? If you don't treat me with the same respect, I already know we're not going to go too far. You get what I mean? Because I know how you operate, and it's not on a professional level when it comes to, man, when you start doing business and the money start flowing, everything becomes real fast paced. You feel me? If somebody is off by a little bit, it can fuck up everything that you got going. I can't afford that L. You feel me? So you clearly cannot be with this program. You get what I mean? It's all with the program. You feel me?
I gotta ask you something at the end of the show. Remember I said that to you.
It's good. Hey, we need to remember.
You gotta ask him something.
Okay, all right.
Remember that I told you to tell him to tell me to remember.
Okay.
We all
You
good.
must be mindful about it.
So
Mindful.
I got another question for you, bro. So how do you mentally prepare yourself before a major event to ensure you show up fully present? Because like I said, I feel like it's a lot of moving parts. So talk to me.
Oh man, you know what? When I was younger, I would, you feel me? I'd do a little turn up, you feel me? But as I got older and business became more serious, it don't be no alcohol. It don't be no, you feel me? No smoking. It don't be no nothing until it gets, and sometimes it don't even be that, because you feel me? Like, especially back then, when things was a little less digital, it's like you don't want to be caught slipping. You feel me? From the beginning of the event to the end of the event to, you feel me, you make it to the house. You don't know. So you have to be mindful of everything, because you was on stage, you was giving out money, people know it's your event, they might try and get on your head. Now you got, you feel me? And it's like, you got to be mindful of all of that.
Yeah.
So, damn, you feel me? Wait, what was the question again?
The question is, how do you mentally prepare yourself before a major event? And make sure you're still there, show up, fully present.
Man, that's a deep thing. I say most of the time during the day, I make sure I do my meditations. You feel me? I go get out in nature.
Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
This is the What's Your Ness podcast, and once again, Alex is saying he has to start meditating.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe season 10,
meditating.
I might actually start doing it, but I'm gonna say it again, so it's on record. So when I come back and see this shit, I'm gonna see myself say it
It's hella
45 times,
do
and
it.
I got to do it.
Focus on your breath, Alex.
Yes.
Speaking of, come get this book.
Yeah.
Chakras, Breathing, and Energy. It helps you do meditation
Okay. Where can we get that at?
on Amazon.
On Amazon? Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's your book?
this is indeed my book.
Nice.
First book, did this in 2020, and it was good. It was really, really good. A lot of people like this one, but my new one, yeah, I think this is gonna outdo this one by a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell by the title.
How to be a man for fucking dummies.
Yes. But I say, man, preparing, you feel me, like, you don't want to do too much. You don't want to be too excited. Don't have no expectations. You feel me? That's the worst thing you could do, have expectations. Like, you think, oh, yeah, I'm finna make all this money tonight. You feel me? Or, oh, it's about to go so smooth. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You feel me? Until it actually happened. And
what things you got to diffuse, what shit you got to move.
because it's never just as black and white. You feel me? And it's always something new. Sometimes it'll be the police. Sometimes it'll be niggas beefing. You feel me? From different areas. Sometimes it'll be you feel me? The females.
There'd be females for beefing and shit.
Man,
I've been in shit like
you
that.
know, like females when it comes to the bottle service and the lines, them trying to jump the line. You feel me? Sometimes it'll be dealing with the security, making sure they not letting nobody in through different back doors, or you feel me, they not scamming, you feel me, or taking there. Sometimes it be dealing with the artists, dealing with their entourage, making sure they cool, you feel me, at the hotel, getting them there, dealing with the money, you feel me, like making sure the money is good, then dealing with the owner. If some of these owners, they be doing the most, you feel me, be playing with their nose, you feel me, they it's not as professional as you would think.
You would assume.
You feel me? But it still fucks up your business. So you got to be on point, and you have to be mindful for everybody. And that's probably the main thing, like what got me into this is when doing events, it allowed me to take myself and like put on other people's hats and think for them. Like, I have to think I have to see how they're going to be thinking about this experience, and if something happens, different things for probability, how would they respond to it? You feel me? Because how they respond can affect my event. So I need to be able to de-escalate that. Matter of fact, it shouldn't even happen because you get what I'm take care of it ahead of time. Be mindful.
Like you said, you got to be mindful of who you're dealing with. A lot of people aren't mindful of who they're dealing with,
man,
and then they blame them for being themselves.
Facts. You feel me? You got to know. If people is beefing, you feel me? You may not want to have those two people interacting in your venue. You get what I mean? If it's something to where it's like, man, to be honest, I try to personally, we stay away from a lot of men when it comes to us bringing out, artists or celebrities. Stay away from, like, it's rare. Like, I can name on my hand how many, you feel me, celebrities we brought out. And two of them was a group. You feel me? So that's really only... It ain't that many. It's like 3. You get what I mean? But women, it brings a different kind of feel, and it's going to have a different kind of crowd, which means it's going to be a different type of turn up. It's going to be a different kind of outcome. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like you have to be mindful and aware of what kind of environment, atmosphere you setting up, because it's not that some money just ain't worth the headache.
Hey man, all money ain't good money, man.
Bro, I'm super stoked on these Ness Culture cock warmers. I only ordered one, but they came in a pair. They gave me 2. Do you want one of these cock warmers?
Bro, those are socks. They're not cock warmers. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. I was joking, dude. Of course they're socks. I'm not like a weirdo or anything.
So you said something earlier in the podcast, bro, and it really struck me. So I want to kind of like revisit that. Okay, so I want you to explain to me what's the difference between reacting and responding. Even when it's handling business, the challenges of handling business. What's the difference from reacting and responding? I love that. That shit was prophetic, bro. That shit was a bar.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So okay. Explain it to me, because I need to have the understanding so I can pass that on. So I might even implement that into my programming, but I need to understand it first. Okay. Actually, excuse me, brother. I need to overstand it.
Oh, understand it, overstand it. Okay, I get you. So for me, I got a medical background. I went to Bay EMT and got into the EMT program. And ended up working at John George, Cherry Hills, doing drug and alcohol abuse counseling. And, it was EMT over there. And when it comes to everything, when working in the medical field, you have to learn to respond over reacting. You feel me? A reaction is something you're going to do instinctively. You get what I mean? A response is something you're going to take time to actually analyze before you make a choice or a decision or an action. Maybe 2 completely separate outcomes. And that's the reason why I say maybe, because your habit of reaction is something that is on autopilot. But when your response becomes your habit on autopilot, then that becomes the dominant reaction, is a response. You get what I mean? Because you've done it so much that instinctively, before you just emotionally react, you're going to instinctively, because you've done it so much, you're going to analyze it first and then say, okay, take a couple of seconds. What's the best way to respond to this? When it's no emotion evolved in responses or actions, it's a lot more clear.
Concise. When
it's emotion evolved with it, because reactions are always emotional triggers. Every reaction is going to be an emotional trigger. Even happy ones. You want to keep everything in check. You feel me? Because
especially when you're being mindful.
Facts. You feel me? Because you are being mindful of how you're being mindful of who has influence and power over you. And it's like, if you have let's say it's a argument you got into, a fender bender on the 880. somebody's having a bad day, you feel me? You in traffic and everything, and they blowing the horn at you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like they all upset. You feel me? You don't know what it is that they've been dealing with, but you feel me? It's traffic, and they blowing the horn at you, and you just doing your thing. You know?
Yeah.
If you was to react emotionally, that reaction could turn into something. You feel me? You don't know if this person is on if they on meds. You don't know if they are on any type of drugs or substance. You don't know if they just got fired. They girl, you feel me, got caught fucking. You feel me, the neighbor's dog. You don't know. You feel me?
Go fucking the neighbor's dog.
I know.
Hey, you must really watch the podcast because we talk about that kind of stuff often. Actually.
But I got a side note for that, right?
Oh.
So I purchased a vehicle, recently, and being out, like I said, because I take pride in things that I spend my money on. I don't just buy, Gucci Louis and just, try to act like it ain't nothing because I got it.
No emotional reactions.
Whenever I spend money, it's intentional. So I bought myself a car recently, like I said, a new car, and driving in my car, what I realized observing other people is that a lot of people take what others do personally. And what I've noticed, just like I said, being hyper mindful, like being all the way into my mindfulness, is that everybody driving, everybody living is doing what they think is best for them.
And they may not necessarily, because they're not
even thinking about you. When they cut you off, they weren't thinking about it. They wanted to get over, and they saw opportunity for themselves to get over, and you just happen to be that car there.
Yeah.
So now that you're
regardless.
internalizing it and personalizing it, and why would they do this to me? You already lost.
Thanks.
You're reacting. You're not responding.
But see, when you mindful, you already know that most people in them situations, they already have a certain type of thought process because you done came across it so much. You feel me? That's the thing about, like, when you become mindful about stuff, you start to notice the patterns. You start to know patterns, and you start to notice synchronicity and correlations. And it be really
so you trade the stock market.
I trade a lot of crypto, but I love stocks. I do. I would say.
Do you trade stocks or do you invest in stocks?
Okay, so I trade, but I do more bot trading. So I have more.
Oh, you got algorithm going?
I code. You feel me? So
Yeah, all right. So, hey, Spinny, I need you to cut this out the podcast. We don't need nobody else to know. I need to talk to this man after.
Can we make a Ness coin?
Ness coin. We have to be willing to scam enough people for it to work.
We need to be willing to potentially face
federal prosecution. If
they've been asking people on them lately, like for real.
Like Trump coin, boy. That shit ain't came back up, boy.
No, for real.
So I got another question for you, bro. Okay. How do you stay grounded when dealing with high stakes situations in the event planning space? Because like I said, you from Oakland, you threw events in Oakland.
I'm just from Detroit originally, actually, but I grew up in the town. But
so, like I said, you from Oakland. You feel me?
You were on the set at Cupcake No Fillin' in 2007. You're from Oakland.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, you from Oakland, so you throw events in Oakland, man. It's always high stakes going on around these parts. So, talk to me. How do you stay grounded?
Man, to be honest, like, I have extremely low expectations.
The audacity of this man to tell me he's from Detroit. So disrespectful. Let's stop the podcast, man.
It's true, man. Shout out Joy Road, man. Look,
Joy Road.
Hey, man, what's side? Look, hey.
Okay. So how you stay grounded in these high stakes situations?
Man, low expectations. Like, don't have any expectations. You feel me? Besides of what expectations you have for yourself.
Man, one of my bars is expect nothing and appreciate everything.
Yeah, for real. That's it. You feel me? Like, you know what you have to do. You feel me? And you know if you've been half-assing, and you know if you went hard. That's it. You feel me? It's like,
but like I said, bro, I'm very. I feel for the idiots in the world, bro.
It's a lot of, but it's most of the time it's because they're not mindful of their emotions.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. And they can't be, bro. They're not built like us, bro.
Yeah.
So I feel for them.
That's real.
So like I said, a lot of times they think that they're doing a lot.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
And they're not doing shit,
It's
bro.
not, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. So when you say you didn't give your all, I think they think that they're giving their all. And listen. They are.
Oof.
They're not giving your all. They're not giving my all. They're not giving Spinny's all. They giving their all. That's all they have. And like I said, you could expect more from them because you know they can do more. But that's you.
Yeah, that's real.
That's a you thing.
That's real. Okay, I'll take that. Because perspective is a mug. You feel me? So, and people do be feeling like they be doing the most, or they feel like they will do things, and you feel me? They'll be like, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't play any part of that," and they was the main person instigating. You feel me?
That's me.
The situation.
That's me. I'll be like, man, it wasn't even that big of a deal until 7 people then came to me and told me how amazing it was. I'm like, I kind of like I okay.
But
all right, well, I did do that. Okay,
you gotta know. I mean, because you know when you did something and when you didn't. You feel me? And even when you didn't do something, you know when you could have did more. You feel me? It's like,
that's my thing in a lot of situations is I feel like I could have did more and I didn't.
Yeah.
But then it was still so amazing. It affected so many other people's lives, and it's like, bro, that was like 55% of my effort.
Facts. But depending on what kind of dialogue and narrative that you have in your own head, it determines on how much you gonna give. You get what I mean? Because it's like, man, after you finish doing that thing, the little voices that's in your head is just saying, hey man, you should have did this, you should have did that, and you should have did this. Or is the little head saying, sheesh, we was lit. You feel me? What is the voice that's saying?
My voice is telling me them niggas wasn't gonna listen, or you did what you could, bruh. Yeah. But then, like I said, I like to battle with that voice. I'm like, bruh, I could have did more.
You could have,
because I could have. Yeah. If you try to calm me down by saying like man, you did what you could, but like you told them and they didn't listen.
Facts.
But just how analytical I am, I'm like, maybe I said it wrong.
But then you had
maybe I didn't.
You had an expectation that they was gonna listen to you. Why?
Because I'm intelligent. I'm one of the most intelligent people they know, and they come and tell me how intelligent I am.
But you assume that they intelligent too, because they told you are intelligent. That may not be the case for them.
That's the disconnect. Is I assume that they have enough intelligence to identify my intelligence that they should listen to my intelligence.
A lot of people, like, they are very, very watered down when it comes to like on a mental level. To be honest. A lot of people prefrontal lobe is not even developed, so they don't really have the ability to reason. They don't have the ability to think about things logically.
That's why crash out is such a big term right now.
But also too,
crash out. The kids were talking. They were talking about someone crashing out. Yeah. But we used to always, it's like passing out on someone's couch. Like we crashed out last night after the party. But now it's like go crazy on someone, right? Is what
it's like lose control. It's like a loss of a control, complete and utter control.
Yeah. But most people is going to crash out because, and this is off topic but relevant at the same time, because where things is going, you feel me, and how the sun is heating up. It's affecting everything. A lot of people can't really deal with the shift in the vibes, and they can't deal. They own one. Whoop. Yeah, that was a throw.
A throw of the century.
I was trying to be like subtle while you were talking. I completely called attention to it. Alex is over there like doing like sign language.
Yeah, I'm doing sign language like scissor,
scissor me timbers.
So Corey, bro, how do you recover and learn from failure when an event doesn't go as planned?
That's
like I said, it wasn't all cupcakes and rainbows. So talk to me,
man. You gotta accept them L's as losses. I mean, accept them accept them losses as lessons. You feel me? And you gotta really go over what could you have done better. You feel me? Where was you giving your all at? Where was you lacking? Where did you spend your time? What was the hiccups? But then you also gotta be paying attention to. It's not just the event where you start to do the going over and backstepping, but even when you're doing the marketing, even from when you set it up, like you need to have an outline of where do you see this event going, Where do you see it being potential hiccups and issues? You know, and that come with experiences of doing it so much too. You know, but when you get a good plan and you have the experience and you keep bumping your head, you make adjustments. And as you make these adjustments, you will notice that you will start to find your flow a lot better. So now, if it's something that happens that threw off your whole event, was it like one of those Black Swan events? You feel me? Was it like a random ass Hail Mary that you didn't anticipate? You feel me? Yes, that does happen. But 9 times out of 10, you feel me? If you thought about it ahead of time going wrong, then that means you took precautions ahead of time. If it happened and you didn't think about it, that means that you was caught slipping and you weren't paying attention. Because it's always going to be footprints. It's always going to be
Explain.
thread.
What do you mean it's going to be footprints? Talk
Like, whenever a situation happens, you can always find the source or the origin of it. A lot of times, it's something little.
Didn't I told you, bro? That's what I searched for. Man. So I hear you. That's why I asked a question about that. So yeah.
Hey, life is really like, especially when it comes to events or even being mindful. Final Destination, we all familiar with that.
Yeah.
Y'all know how it goes. It's Final Destination, real life. You got to be mindful of the little things and be like, damn, how can this little thing spin out of control into something larger and fuck up what I got going?
Yeah.
You feel me? So
nip
it in the bud. You feel me? And you be on point.
Yeah. So what he's basically telling you guys, you know, just so I can translate for anybody who doesn't understand, is honor not inner.
Honor not inner. Hey, hey. Unless it's in her mouth.
Oh my God.
Bro, hold on. This is a mindfulness episode. We don't speak like this on the mindfulness episode.
You know what? I am extreme. That's another place to be mindful, man. if you ain't mindful in the bed, bro.
Hey, bro. I was, cause like, so one of my things, I'll give out my secrets because this is the What's Your Ness podcast. This is what it's here for. So one of my secrets is what I explain to women that have great sexual experiences with me is that sex is 100% physics.
Okay, this is new.
Physics. Okay, I will say this with women: physics and emotions. That's all I need. That's all I need for a woman to have an amazing, mind-blowing sexual experience with me. All I need is emotions and physics.
What about spiritual?
I don't need that shit. I need emotions and physics.
You don't do like the tantric. You don't like do like meditating.
Sexual,
you know,
floating.
sexually is kind of spiritual.
No, but like I said, sexual. But I'm talking about a sexual experience, an amazing sexual experience that she hasn't had before. All I need is emotions and physics, because.
What the physics do?
Okay, let me talk to you. I'm explaining to you. No. Look, I'm explaining to you. So, the emotional thing first, right? We know women are emotional creatures. So first, I have to establish an emotional connection with you. Because I could have a 3-inch dick, but if you're emotionally attached to me, it's going to feel different in you because of the emotional attachment that woman has with you.
Shouts out to the 3-inch dicks.
I can't. I have no idea about that.
But I would say, but like I said, I'm explaining to you. No. But like I said, I'm explaining to you the connection.
We'll go for it.
Because how she feels about you is going to make the dick feel different.
But what if she stopped feeling like that?
Exactly. So that's why I told you what I need for an amazing experience. I need emotion. I need emotional attachment and physics. So boom, like I said, I don't have a 3-inch dick. So the physics works a little bit easier for me, but then I take into effect physics, and once I enter her, I can feel on a tap of the hip how this sex could be better. That's how deep the physics are with me, to where I could be like
a physical, like a sensitivity to the physical connection or physical.
I'm telling you, but it's physics. It's all angles in direction. Like, it's all physics.
Nigga, you owns something. Oh my gosh.
Because I'm telling you,
lying. Yeah,
no, I'm telling you, like I'll be it. Like, and I'm so
That's
keen.
actually hella. Oh, yeah. That's very, very true,
bro. I'm so keen on it to where I'll be in, and then I'll move her shoulder. And moving her shoulder shifts her body, her center of gravity enough to where I'm hitting a spot no nigga in her life has ever hit. Because niggas are just straight in.
Yeah.
You know? Niggas are just straight in. And it's like, I lasted and I went fast and I went hard and
I'm a
like
speed
I said,
fucker.
Yeah. But I could literally, like I said, I could adjust her hip up. I could put my hand under her hip and lift it a half an inch up, and I'll be somewhere no one has been in her soul.
But you know why? The big thing about that is because most niggas is just trying to bust a nut. They trying to just bust they nut. That's it. They just chasing they nut, so they not really thinking too much past that fast pumping. You feel me? But it's like when you're mindful, you're mindful, especially of her body, man.
The physics of it, and I'm telling you,
things get different.
Like I said, and it's like I could have the physics, but if she doesn't have that emotional connection, if she doesn't think highly of me, if she doesn't feel some type of way, like, oh my God, he's fucking me today, I can do good with the physics, but the emotional connection is not there, and it's not as amazing of an experience. So I make sure I get that emotional connection, and I feel that space. I feel that space very, very full. I'm full into her emotional connection, and then I bring in the physics, and it's an experience that you can never understand. Because what I tell women all the time, because a chick, I never fuck a chick that tells me how to fuck her, because this is what I explain to her. I said, you can tell me what you like, but I'm gonna explain to you that what you really like is what you never had, and that's what I'm here for.
Okay, I don't know if I should be a villain or not. I feel like if I say this, I probably could get some bad karma, but I don't know.
I'm saying caramel, shit, Carmelo, nigga, whatever, nigga, we here.
So it's a way you can establish, or I don't want to say manipulate that emotional connection, but you can trigger it. You feel me? Like
trigger it, and that's what I'm here for. Because like I said, a lot of women, just like you said, the men just there for the nut. I've met multiple women that just wanted me for the encounters that they had, sexual encounters they had with
experience.
Me.
Yeah, that's facts. So when it comes to stimulation, you feel me? Different types of stimulation. Different type of things that you can do to them will have different type of emotional triggers. For example, if, again, this book is so good because we do so much talking about energy. This is relevant. We're going to talk about the orange.
Root, solar plex, you feel me?
Facts.
Crown, like we always there.
Got the dick shocker going.
Man, hey. So when you start to stimulate different type of, let's say, if you biting is a form of aggression. You're going to be stimulating a lot of red. You feel me? You stimulating a lot of you feel me? You stimulate a lot of that passion, that, you feel me, that her energy. She's going to respond different to that than if you doing subtle kisses on her inner thighs. That's more blue. It's more sensual. It's more soft. It's more soft spoken.
I'm saying, give us what's blue? Blue is throat.
Blue is the throat.
Okay, I know, but I'm saying explain it to him.
You feel me? Look.
So blue is throat. So throat chakra.
It's so many different ways. You feel me? You can stimulate different emotions. You feel me? From her body by using different things on your body. You feel me? Whether it's your hands, whether it's your mouth, even something simple like, you feel me, you could do a forehead rub lightly, you feel me, on her back, you feel me, with them back shots. It's all kinds of things.
No. And I tell women that it takes me three times. I said, after I fucked you 3 times, I know exactly how to fuck you, because I have like a checklist. I stimulate ears, like you said, forehead. I do biting. I run through a checklist, and like I said, it takes a couple times for me to like run through it, because it's not like, okay, ear bitch, or neck ear bitch. Like, it's like, no, we had to have some encounters, and then I had to check things. Like I said, you may like. Because like
facts.
A chick
is important.
Yeah, a chick told me this and it blew my mind. Like I said, and I was a lot younger, but she explained to me. She was like, some people like a finger in their ass or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, a lot of females do.
Yeah, and she was telling me
one in the
like she ain't even worried about it. She's like, but she does like the pressure. So you just pressing on her asshole, not even entering it, just pressing on it, does something for her.
Facts.
And that kind of like unlocked the thought process in my mind, like, oh shit. And I was like, what other parts of the body where you don't have to lick, or you can just touch, you can
everywhere,
you can stimulate, like I said, because I know chicks that I know a chick, like I said, no names. You know, this is a no snitch podcast. The sole of her foot was orgasmic for her.
Oh, we're going back to episode 1 now. Or episode 0. The tickle in the feet.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
but no, that was actually quirkiness, right?
Yeah.
That was like episode 3, but no, it wasn't even a tickle. The foot tickle was some shit that I did because I'm just an asshole. But this chick actually, she's like the pressure in between the curvature of her foot. It just did something to her, and it's like subtle little things like that.
Facts.
It takes times to kind of it takes sexual encounters to find that, and it's like every woman has that. It's a woman. There's a woman out there right now, bro. I'm telling you, I promise you. There's a woman out there right now that if you rubbed her elbow while you fucked her, she would
guaranteed
squirt.
Yep.
If you licked her elbow, she would love you for life. Like
And most dudes don't do these things.
Yeah,
because
you gotta test it. You gotta test all these things.
So,
and it's like I said, this is the episode to say it because we talking about being mindful. And if you like somebody, if you want to create a future with somebody, you need to be mindful of what she likes. And if you just think that you showing up as you is what she likes,
facts,
you're not doing her justice, bro.
I'm about to be out here looking elbow all day.
Look, kneecap too,
man,
bro. Hey, Achilles.
Hell yeah.
Look at bro. No, real talk. Next time, next time anybody doing anything, try lifting your girl leg up and then rubbing her Achilles.
Oh,
and watch how
do you ever bite it while it's up there?
Bro, it depends on the individual.
Lick and bite the ankle.
Bruh. Rub her Achilles and see how she reacts. If she doesn't give you a good reaction, move on. Move to a different part.
You know what's crazy that you just said that, because it just made me think about even in that area, this different type of stimulation. You feel me? Whether it's a soft rub, a tight squeeze, a bite, a lick. You feel me? A nibble. Just your lips pressed of it. It's so many different sensations, but you're triggering emotions. You feel me? And you just made me think about, I always give this example when I talk about women compared to men. This is my personal theory.
Yes.
I feel like women are like vehicles, like cars, You
remind me of my cheese. I wanna
wait. You gonna get it, you feel me, in a minute. So it's go. You know how you have a whole bunch of you got Hondas, little cars. You got the 2-door Hondas. You got
minis. You got
SUVs, pickup trucks, Cadillac DeVille's. You got
U-Hauls.
Man, U-Hauls. You got, you feel me? What is the T-Rexes? You got Corvettes. You got Lambos. You got Bentleys. You got Rolls Royces. There's a whole bunch of different cars. That's how women are. But they all have 4 wheels, or they all have wheels. They all have an engine. They all take, the coolant or, some type of fluid. They all have these things. They operate almost identically. You get what I mean? But they serve different purposes, and
they have different lifelines too. I mean, they last different.
Facts.
And also,
you operate them different. They last different. They have it's
different purposes.
Facts. You feel me? That's how women are. But they're still, still a car.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's still, now men, a little different, a lot different actually. It's only 3 types of men.
Okay,
this is what I've kind of feel.
And Spinny, your cuck.
Now, the average dude.
Pigs, dogs, and sheep.
Pigs, dogs.
What?
Where did that
Continue.
So there's 3 types of men.
What? Wait, say it again. What?
Pigs, dogs, and sheep are 3 types of men.
That's different. I don't want to be none of those. But it's similar. Okay. So you have the average dude, he may not have no goals like that, and he doesn't have he's not gonna do what you did to explore the woman's body, to actually make sure that she gets her orgasms. He just want to get that quick nut. He may be satisfied with just a regular job, if that. He may just be
NPC kind of vibe a little bit.
You get what I mean?
NPC vibe.
He doesn't have any type of anything about him.
Motivation.
That's most of the guys.
Yeah.
They're on their feet. That's what I classify them. They're just walking on their feet. Now, that's the most basic form of movement. You get what I mean? Then you have the dudes who are next level. These are the dudes, they excel in society, but they can't think outside the box, you know? They are the guys who, man, they'll do everything that society's tell them to do, you know? Then they're going to go far. They're more like a car, you know? It's a little bit more complicated than walking, you know, but you can learn it. You get what I mean? You can learn that shit. Now, the last category of men, he operates more like a plane. It's only a small percentage that can actually pilot a plane compared to driving a car, compared to walking. You get what I mean?
Yes.
A whole lot more complex, but
it's levels to the shit.
He can operate inside of society to the max, like the men who are operating as cars, you know? Or he can operate outside of that. He can see things from a different type of point of view because he has that capacity to get outside of the box. A lot of those men, again, the category under, they do really good, but they can't get outside the box of what has been indoctrinated or given to them. Yeah. They can't test the boundaries. You know, so what usually ends up happening, the sex will get bored, you know, with their girl. They may excel or you know, the spark may die out when it comes to their life. They have a lot of regrets. You know, it'd be a lot of things that they haven't really got to accomplish because they haven't really, they're not the captain of their own ship. Yeah. You get what I mean? Yep. They're living through someone, or someone else is living through them. Yeah. And they're not in control of their own life. The lowest tier, they don't have anything. They don't even want to do anything. So it's not even someone to have control of their life to even do. Yeah. But the one at the top, super control, super mindful, super aware. Yeah. You get what I mean? It's like everything that they're doing is intentional. Yeah. You know, they know what they want. They know how they operate. They know how people operate with them, and they move accordingly. Yeah. You know?
For me, I feel like that those are all different like rooms I've been in a way. And it's like, okay, I don't want to be in this room where I'm fucking not doing shit and whatever. And you kind of like wake yourself up out of that, and then maybe do an airplane shit for a little while.
Manhood,
but
boyhood,
then it's like
males.
But then sometimes I regress back to like, like I'm tired of doing this. I'm gonna just fucking be on autopilot and watch movies and jerk it. You know what
I mean? But it's not your default program. Yeah, you consciously made that decision to do that. You said, "Hey, I don't feel like doing this right now. Yeah, I'm gonna take my choice. Yeah. You know, I'm in control.
A vacational.
I'm doing this because I'm in control of my life.
But I think but what I'm saying is I've kind of like, there's been periods in my life where I've like let it get out of control, and then I like have a moment where like, wait, why the fuck am I just going on? Yeah, that's the
difference. Yeah. If you never had that moment, then you would be in that, because they never have that moment. Yeah. You get what I mean?
I know people that 30 something still don't have a car, only had buckets, don't even, like say, fuck off the bucket or let it, like you said, they never get past that stage, and now it's just
they never get past chasing the nut.
And it's like once you look at him and you're like, oh shit, he might be upgrading. Months later, he downgraded back to what you know him to be,
to his natural
status.
That's his default. He's an NPC. It's his default setting. Yeah. It's his program.
So with that being said, bro, what role does intuition play in deciding which events you pursue? Like I want to get back to the event stuff, because I know that was like a big part of what you were doing, bro. Like, talk to me.
Intuition is definitely on point, because you got to get a feel, and intuition is tied to experience for me. Like, my intuition is good, but it's good because I've had the experience so many times. So it's like, oh, I feel like this is about to go like this, you know, and being mindful of those sensations of when I get that feeling, it lets me be like, I'm gonna move a little bit different because I think this is gonna happen. And 9 times out of 10, you feel me, it happen like that. Or it'd be a time where it'd be like, well, fuck, I was wrong, you know. But
hey, sometimes you in a building and you feeling yourself.
Yeah, you know.
You know, feeling yourself.
But most of the time, no, the intuition is always on point because the intuition is backed up by my experiences. You feel me?
I think also when you get the intuition, there's an added like boost of energy and follow through.
Facts.
So it's like when you go with something that feels right for you, you execute differently for it. So it's like, even if it was wrong, the energy and effort you're going to put into it is going to make it right.
That's how I feel about crypto.
Because it feels good. It feels good to you.
Now, when you just made me think about like what made me get into cryptocurrency and blockchain, and you feel me, like all of this shit, even with investing, you know, like I got into it when I came back from Australia in 2019. You feel me? It was like at the end of the year, and
you got in at a good time when it was low.
I did, but it was like it was me first learning about it. You feel me?
I got in 2017, and I got out at 100, but I'm gonna get back into somewhere else.
See, now I wish, because I know a few people who got in it. I'm like, damn, if I had got in it then, I probably not even.
No, but no, it went from like 17, 18, and then it went down to 3.5, and like I said, like 18, 19 is probably when it was like 3.5.
But it was the experience that I gained as far, because like when I got into it, I ain't never jumped back off because how much I made from it from that first run. But I wasn't experienced to know, hey, I need to pull out, I need to take profits. You feel me?
Take profits.
I need to be aware of
that's
the
something.
swings.
That's something stock market didn't taught me, bro. Take profit.
Because even when you're dealing with the difference between dealing with stocks, or you're dealing with crypto, or you're dealing with indices or futures, you feel me? Whatever it is that you trading, the swings is going to be different. Yeah. Like a crypto swing is completely different. It's way more volatile than, you feel me, a stock swing.
Yeah. Also, I want to tell you something that I talked to a dude who sold commodities. Just happened to have a conversation with a dude who sold commodities, and he said something to me that I'm pretty sure is like prevalent in the investing space, but I don't know if you heard it, and I always want to share it because it struck me personally. So I want to tell you this: you've never lost money. No one in the history has ever lost money taking profit.
Yeah, that's facts.
So, like I said, because I hear a lot of people talk about, like, oh man, I sold it and then it went up 20%, or I sold it and it went up 10%. It's
don't take profit.
It's like, bruh, you know that shit could have went down 50%, right? Like, bruh,
man.
you can't be worried about what you didn't get when you got something.
Yeah.
If you lost something, you could be like, okay, what did I do wrong?
30 bands.
Yeah, what did I do wrong in this loss?
Yeah.
But when you make something, you can't keep thinking about how much you could have made if you didn't do something, because the shit could have went bad.
Yep.
And you don't when you
could go bad.
When you get in and you get out and then the shit go bad, you just feel good and you move on.
Facts.
But when you get out and shit get better, it's like a pain response, like, oh, I could have got more. And it's like
but that's that greed.
No.
So be mindful of them emotions.
So look at, I've been like I said, I've been into the investing thing since 2017, because that's when I got into crypto. I got into stocks and options a little later. I invest, I trade, I swing trade, and all that other shit. And there's, I don't know if I ever said this on the podcast. No, but I don't know if I ever said this podcast. But this is 3 things that I tell people, anybody, when they come to me and they serious, I say it's 3 things you can't have. I say it sounds simple when I say it, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be the hardest shit you ever do in your life. Yeah. There's 3 things you can't have if you want to trade, invest in the stock market: greed, fear,
facts,
hope.
Yeah.
Any 3 of those things will fucking destroy anything that you do in investing.
Yeah, that's real.
If you have greed, like, because I've literally lost 40K off of greed, because I had an exit and I was like, oh, I can get 5% more.
Yeah, nah.
Tried to get 5% more. The shit closed and I didn't get it. Shit turned around, and then I had hope. Then I had fear, and I lost more money than I had to make. But the parameters I set when I was doing studying and grinding and trying to figure out where my place is in the market and how I can make money that I feel comfortable making, I made a plan. And then when I was executing that plan, I adjusted the plan.
Yep.
And when I adjusted the plan, I lost fucking money.
Yeah, you can't adjust the plan. It's to piggyback off of that. I didn't really like. Controlling your emotions is a major thing in trading and investing. And I thought I was good before I jumped in it, because I've been in this energy shit, you feel me, for a long ass time. But I didn't really get good until I started trading and investing, because you go on such an emotional roller coaster with the losses and with the wins. that the more you do it, the more you get to regulate your emotions and you keep your shit in check. Because if you don't, you're not going to win.
And you know what the thing that taught me that the most? Unrealized gains.
Yeah.
Unrealized gains will teach you to chill.
Yeah, you gotta chill.
You gotta chill, because what unrealized gains are is, for the people who don't know, it's like when you invest in Apple, Amazon, fucking, I don't know, some penny stock that's gonna go to a $1 million that you think. What unrealized gains there are when you bought it and it went up 200%. But you didn't sell it.
You didn't.
So you want to tell people, oh man, I bought this shit, it went up 200%. I'm a fucking guru. I'm the next coming of fucking Jesus.
You ain't take profit.
And then
It don't count.
And then Trump says something, and that shit go from 100% to negative 25%.
Hey, that's the worst feeling, bro.
Negative 25% to negative 50%.
That's a mean feeling, bro.
because people, like I said, I tell people all the time, like, even when they, oh, I know this guru and this, that, third, and I'm like, bruh, he showed me a screenshot, man. He was up 20 bands, man. He made 20 bands, and I look at it, I see unrealized gains. I said, he ain't made nothing. Until you sell it, you ain't made nothing. You could lose it all. It could go to zero. So unrealized gains taught me a lot, because most of my net worth right now is in stocks, and it's fluctuated.
Yeah.
But like I said, I know that's a better place for it, because I know if I took all that money out and I was like, I put it in the bank, I'm gonna get 0.01. And right now my shit is doing way better than 0.01. If that shit stayed where it was at for the next 10 years, it'd be doing better than 0.01.
I just went through that with crypto. I was like, God damn. I was like, if I get gains of 2,000, I'll sell. And it was gains of 1,800, and then it fucking
No. See, and look at, as my brother, I'm gonna tell you, that's the wrong thought process. Your thought process is a number, and the number is wrong. You have to go with percentages, because it gives you a wider perspective on what you're doing. Because whether you put in $2,000 or $100,000, if you do percentage, you have an understanding of where you want to get out. If you do a number, then it's like $100,000. Oh, 2%, you're out. But if you did $1,000, that's 100% to get out. So you need to do your due diligence and think of a percentage, but not a number, a percentage of, if I get up 25%, I'm gonna just jump out and then I'll find a new entry.
But it also depends on if you investing or if you trading. Because you got to you have to make the decision.
I don't think so. My percentage still on investing.
Yeah, but okay. For example, so
Talk
it's
to
like,
me.
let's say if you were fortunate enough to get into crypto, you feel me? Let's say around 2015, 2012, between that period, the percentage that you up overall is going to be like, and but 5-10 years where it's going.
But listen. And say you got in 2015, in 2017, it jumped up. It jumped up from like, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 to like almost 20,000. So like I said, bro, in that moment.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, listen. In that moment, you probably would have sold because you up.
It depends.
But like I said, you have hindsight. It's like, it went to 20,000 and it came back, but then it went to 100,000. So nigga, you should have held.
But that's what I'm saying. As far as like, it depends, because for me, I know crypto is one of those things where it's like, yes, it's good to make money off of it in a certain aspect, but on a long term level, you feel me? It's so much bigger. You feel me? Because it's a replacement for the current financial system. And it's like, things happen in cycles. You feel me? Like I'm really a big person on, you feel me, on patterns. You feel me? And I guess with the mindful shit. You feel me? And being mindful of things that happen in synchronicity, things that happen on mass scales, things that happen, of how they correlate to each other. What's the coincidences? Because there's not really any coincidences. And it's like, you will see what's happening with this current financial system. The dollar has been losing, I guess, 90 to 99% of its purchasing power since we came off the gold standard in 73, 70, whenever we came off of it. You get what I mean? It's not as valuable as it was 5 years ago, a couple of years ago, 10 years ago.
The inflation is happening every year. They never talk about deflation. They talk about inflation.
The reason why I say this is because we know that this financial system has holes in it and it's going down. It's one of those things. Even when you look at all fiat systems, you feel me, that have been happening in history, the life expectancy is very short. They only have a time period of around 100 to, you feel me, 120, 130 years. So we coming at that ending right now of the cycle. What would be the next thing to take over of that? The cryptocurrency world with blockchain technology and the way that it moves is just a ledger. It's no different than, you feel me, the current financial system, except for it's with a monopoly money.
A level of accountability.
To a degree. To a degree.
I'm about to say, hold on. And like I say, since we on this subject, I'm going to say, also with quantum computing coming, that makes it a little shakier too.
They do.
You know, and if you know, you know.
But it's probability.
But if you don't know, you don't know. But
yeah.
that was a bar for you.
Facts.
That was a
Look
gem
up
for
quantum
you.
computing.
Quantum computing, it has a factor in it. So, you know, like I'm like I said, I'm mindful and I'm macro.
So the only reason why I say this is because, again, it's nothing is ever absolute. It's always probability. You feel me?
Yes.
It's only possibility.
So let me shake your hand on
you
that,
feel me?
man.
It's all, you
nothing
don't know.
is absolute. It's all probability,
For real.
man.
Because you don't know.
I'm a high probability type of guy, man. God,
you only
damn.
know what is going to happen in stone after it has already happened and the cement has set. You get what I mean? Other than that, you feel me? It's still mutable. Things can happen, but you can always guarantee trends to predict, you feel me, probabilities. And the way things is accelerated with inflation, even if you go off of from 2019 to everybody, you feel me, not trading the bonds, you feel me, or using our treasury bonds and whatnot, the whole system is crumbling. Cryptocurrency is basically the next step in evolution, you feel me, for our financial and economic system. And even within the last 2 years, it's been so many big banks, it's been so many institutions, whether it's been different countries, whether it be different states, whether it be Harvard or Stanford, or whether it be other schools, whether it be smaller businesses. Everybody is investing in the crypto space. Everybody.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of ETFs that popped up, you know, like real talk. Yeah.
So it's like, you feel me, just based off the trends and the probability on a long term, you feel me, it got kicked off with Bitcoin, 07, 08 is when Bitcoin first started.
Around there.
It really started, you feel me, getting moving around 2012 to 2015. You feel me? And now we are here where we are now. And the way that Bitcoin by itself has came and skyrocketed from, you feel me, just that period alone on a percentage level is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man, it has the best returns of any investment
Ever. So the chances of it not continuing, you feel me, for the next 5 to 10 years, and this is why I say bringing it full circle back to the investing compared to trading, you feel me, it's a high probability that in 5 to 10 years, based on what has already happened in the past 5 to 10 years, is going to continue. You feel me? So
to an extent. So
it's like, for example, what was Bitcoin at 5 years ago, even with the swings?
Yeah, I'm saying,
you feel me?
5 years ago was that 2018. It's probably at like 15, and it's at about, it got up to 100 and almost 10, and it's about like at 80 something right now.
So the last time I know, when I first got into it, it was at it was 2019. You feel me? I remember going into 2020, it dipped. You feel me? From hitting 19, and I think it was March of 2020, and it dropped down to 35 or 39. That was the last time it touched that. Then it skyrocketed. It went to 67, 68. And that was like at the end of the cycle, and it pulled back. It only got to 15. It never went below that again. Now it just took
But also
leg up.
the institutional money involved in it now, and they have to keep they had to keep
This is my point.
A certain level of how much Bitcoin they have to even trade the ETF.
So before then, it wasn't.
BlackRock,
it wasn't a mad. It wasn't.
fucking,
it wasn't that. It wasn't a mainstream to where all of these institutions was getting in at the level it was. It was only like the people who was really up on it. You feel me? And it was like people who had money in it, but it was a small percent. It wasn't a mainstream thing. It hasn't. We haven't even got to the level of mass adoption yet. You feel me?
That's something I told somebody in 2017, and we're still not there. So
we early.
Yeah. I want to ask you another question about the the parties and all the shit that you've done. You know, the amazing things that you've thrown in your life. You know, so how do you create an experience that people feel on a deeper level, like beyond just like the entertainment of a party?
Fun and safety. That's the priority. When you can guarantee that
that means
fun.
a lot.
Yeah,
that means a lot. Yeah, no, that's real.
Because the fun means they're gonna again, because I associate a lot with doing events like talking to women. You feel me? Mm-hmm. If you could put together a great event, you could talk to a lot of women, and you would be really good at pleasing women. You feel me? Your relationships will always be on point. As far as the fun and safety, you make it fun and you give them that experience, something extremely pleasurable that they'll remember. Mm-hmm. You are basically stimulating those emotions. You feel me? Of man, hey, it's lit. You get what I mean? You getting them excited. The safety is the comfort. You giving them that comfort zone to where it's like they're comfortable when they see you and they see your events, they see your name, they see your brand, they're comfortable with you, and they'll go be with you because of the fun experience and because the comfort that they have, the level of comfort they have with you.
And like I said, I feel like that with women. Like I make sure that women are very comfortable around me to where they don't feel like I'm not gonna do no weird shit. You know, like I don't do the creep shit. I don't do the weird shit. Like you're safe. Like I said, one thing that I explain to women, like I said, just to piggyback off of what you were already talking about, is that one thing I've told multiple women is every piece of pussy I've ever gotten in my life was given to me.
I would hope so.
It was all of 100%.
It better be.
Yeah, 100% it was given to me. I'm like, I ain't never took no pussy. Like
you don't do that.
Yeah, like it was always given to me. So it's like like you good around me. Like if I'm
that's crazy. That even had to be a thing. Though.
But I'm saying, like, I'm letting know, like, if I make my moves and you let me know, like, relax, I'm relaxed,
man. Hey,
like it's like, okay, shit. Say this.
Anything with the balls and dick that can hear this, don't ever take pussy. That's not good. Don't ever do that.
Yeah,
if it's not given to you,
don't force the issue. Don't like I've literally lost pussy because it wasn't clear that it was being given to me.
Yeah, to
where later a chick, with her own, emotional problems was like, why didn't you just force your? I'm like, baby, no, you. I'm like, you should have told me.
I like clear.
You gotta let me know that you want it. If you don't make it clear that you want it, I'm not going to give it.
Mindful.
Yeah, I'm highly mindful. She's like, well, I came over that night and you didn't even make no. I said I made moves, but then I didn't feel the reciprocation. And if I don't feel the reciprocation, I'm not a weirdo. I'm not going to tell you got to leave or nothing. We already had this shit set up.
No. It's
just going to be what it is. I might not invite you back over because I thought we was going to smash and we didn't smash. But I'm not going to push the issue. I'm not going to put, bitch, you here. We got it. No.
But see,
it's like, I
gotta be mindful about consent. For sure.
Yeah. Man, consent is important.
I like to get the consent before we even get into those type of situations. So we already know, you feel me? If it happens, it's good. You feel me? It shouldn't even be like a question in the air.
No, I like the surprise. I
don't like surprises.
Oh, I like the energy of the surprise. It's like
that.
It's like I say, because
I like saying some dirty stuff beforehand, because I don't want to do.
No.
I've done the surprise, but then if it's
I like the surprise, but like I said, I definitely have gotten signs. I'll get a signal. But like I said, I like a little surprise. Like, okay, like I want to feel like I made a move and it made it happen.
Yeah.
Even though, like I said, I'm gonna tell y'all men right now, she already knew she was gonna fuck you. It was on you to fuck it up.
Yep.
You know, but I like to feel like I had a little control in it. So I like to feel like, oh, I made this move and she gave me the green light.
But
and
you
I
already
moved
had
forward.
the control. You had the control before. That's how she knew she was gonna fuck you.
I know, but I like to wait a little bit.
Yeah, man,
it makes me feel good to wait a little bit. And like I said, I don't
mind the wait.
I've lost a nice little, a small chunk of pussy off of waiting for it,
Yeah,
and then not getting the right signal. And then, like I said, almost every time, like we've had conversations a week later, days later, and it's like, oh, why you didn't?
Yeah.
It's like, bitch,
if you wait too long, you feel me? The moment can die. It could pass you by.
Yeah. Because like I said, because once I don't think that it's consensual, it's over.
Yeah, it's right.
It's over. You can pop your ass up, and I'm gonna just think you cold. Like, okay, she's cold. Let me keep her warm. I'm a man. I'm gonna keep her warm. You know, like this is not sexual. This is just sensual.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I'm gonna run it. Yeah, like this is sensual. This is not sexual. It's sensual. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be a man in this moment, and I'll call another bitch that actually want some dick. Like, it's cool. You know, I'm not gonna be a weirdo about it. Like, I'm not a weirdo about it, because also I've had
it ain't that serious.
Yeah, I've had enough sex in my life. I'm not jonesing for fucking physical interactions with a woman.
You just made me think about something. This is something me and my cousin always say, and I think it's something a lot of men don't know. But no matter how much pussy you get, you don't get a prize at the end. It's no, you can't go to the bank and be like, hey man, I done fucked all these females, give me something. That never happens. You're not gonna get anything
in life.
So it's like you have to be real selective about, you feel me, what kind of doors you opening, and is she finna fuck up your life, or is she finna help your life? You get what I mean? Because it'd be so crucial, you feel me, to be very mindful of who you trying to like fuck with for real. And it's like, if she making you jump through loops and she making you send you all kinds of shit, you gotta be real mindful of the signs.
Shout out to the master investor Ian, man. He speaks on that. He said, man, if you gotta work too hard for it, she don't really want you, bro.
Really
if you gotta pay for it, she don't really want you.
She don't want you at all.
She don't want you at all. So
because females, they see, when they want you, you know.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, bro, on that subject. So, in what ways can mindfulness improve networking or building relationships? You know, like I said, you've been in that walk of life. Talk to me.
Oh man, that's it's great for that, because you being mindful of what the other person wants. You being mindful of their needs. You being mindful of their desires. You being mindful of, you feel me, their goals. These are things that you need to pay attention to and keep in mind to see, does this align with what you got going on? You know, because if it is a alignment, then boom, y'all can work together. Y'all can go travel towards the same path. You feel me? It may be different destinations, but the journey, you feel me, y'all on the same path. You get what I mean? They bounce off, they continue with whichever way it is. But if you're not mindful from it from the beginning, you feel me, about what that person's intentions is, and also honest. You feel me? A lot of people are not really honest with themselves, or they're not honest when it comes to business or it comes to relationship. They have ulterior motives. No, you got to be real intentional, real blunt, and real honest about the shit that you saying, you feel me, especially when it comes to doing business or building together. Because if not, you feel me, it's gonna be fucked.
So I got a last question for the entire podcast.
Well, I got to rock a piss. I'm being mindful of my bladder right now, so I'm gonna.
You too? I've been holding it for like 20 fucking minutes.
Hey, so I'm gonna let you ask him this last question. I'm gonna leave the camera on him and step away for a minute.
So it's just me and you. All right. So I got a question. I got a question for you, bro. Okay. And my question is, can being too mindful be negative? Talk to us.
Okay, so that's a good question. Mm-hmm. I feel like yes and no. The only reason why I feel like yes is because it's not being too mindful itself that could be an issue, but you not being in control of your thoughts and not being able to manage, you feel me, your emotions that influence what you are perceiving or what you are picking up with that mindful. Like another thing. So if you're not minding your business, you feel me? Like if you you feel me? If you so mindful that you got your nose in other people's shit, you feel me? Or you're not minding your business, it can be negative. You can have some negative consequences because you are not minding your own business. You are overstepping your boundaries. Just because you're aware of it don't mean that, you feel me, you got to speak on it or do an action with it. But sometimes a lot of people, they don't know how to dial it back, you feel me, and they become aware and they mindful of it, and they think that they got to speak on it, except for they haven't established the mindfulness, you feel me, to be mindful of, am I going to speak on this or am I going to keep it to myself? You get what I mean? So if you're doing too much to where it's like you stepping out of your lane, you feel me? That's not a good thing.
I agree with that. Spenny, bro, I want to ask you, can being too mindful be negative?
Oh shit.
I didn't hear what Corey's answer was because I was pissing, but I think it can't.
He didn't wash his hands.
Well, I definitely. You didn't hear me wash my hands.
I wasn't listening, bro. Like, what the fuck? That's kind of gay.
You should be listening.
Listening to you piss. Like, hold on, is that piss or water?
Yeah,
I'm not that mindful.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe that could be like, if you're being too mindful about other people's business, maybe I think that could be and I think being or just overthinking stuff, but I wouldn't consider overthinking being mindful. I think mindfulness, like if you're overthinking something, being mindful about it is recognizing that you're overthinking something, and then
I agree.
So I think in the word as it is, mindful, I don't think it can really be negative unless it's false mindfulness. It's like you think you're being mindful about something, but really you're just
pushing your bias or your narrative.
Exactly.
You being too nosy. That's what I mean. You feel me? It's like, man, he didn't hear the answer, but he's on point. That's the only way it is. And when you in somebody else's business, or when your thoughts is like, you think that you're being mindful, but it's really just your thoughts on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, this is the What's Your Ness podcast. And on the What's Your Ness podcast, man, we have we
you say cockcast? So What's Your Ness cockcast?
I'm saying there's no bitches here today. So we have everybody sign the bottle, so we wanted to get your John Hancock on the bottle, bro.
Indeed.
Yeah. Find a space.
I ain't putting my government name on here.
Oh man, do your thing, man. Put Bay on there. Grandmaster.
Yeah, that GM Bay.
Yeah. That's all we need. That's all we need. Like I said, we need that on there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, this is the What's Your Ness podcast. Bottle. Oh shit! I just went.
Oh yeah, check out the books. How to Be a Man for Fucking Dummies and Chakras. Now, and just to clarify, How to Be a Man for Fucking Dummies is not about how to be a man who goes and fucks crash test dummies. It's if you're a dummy, it's how to be a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. And like I said, we'll definitely get links from you so that we can post it in the YouTube clip. So you guys can check the YouTube, the description. The links for these books will definitely be there. For sure.
Indeed, man.
So,
appreciate it.
like I said, this is the What's Your Ness podcast, brought to you by Ness Culture Clothing. NC, the socks, all that goodness. And we like to show appreciation to every guest that we have bring on here. So to show our appreciation, we wanted to give you some Ness Culture Clothing, car air fresheners, in the shape of the Ness Culture socks with the Ness Culture print on it, and we're giving you the cherry car air freshener and vanilla. The vanilla car air freshener is in our nude and brown sock color. Okay. But that's something we got. Like I said,
it don't smell like feet, y'all.
Yeah. Like I said, when I got those, I was like I said, because I got those from overseas. I got those produced overseas, and when I got them, I was impressed at how good they were. So we're definitely going to do a recap on those, but that's something that we're giving to every guest is, 2 car air fresheners. Like I said, put one in your car, put one in your girl's car, or put one in your car and save the other one for later. However you want to do it, man.
It's on point. On point. I appreciate it.
So we appreciate you for coming and having this mindful conversation with us. Mindfulness is a one of those words that we probably didn't have on our list already, but it's definitely need to be had. That conversation need to be had.
Mindfulness is real.
Yeah. So Spinny, talk to us.
Next week, demureness maybe. I don't know. But no, yeah, that was a great conversation. 2 hours freaking flew by. Corey, it's great to have you here.
I appreciate it.
Alex, any finals for the people?
Y'all know this is the What's Your Ness podcast, and every time we do an episode, we talk about specific words that end in ness. And today the suffix ness was prefixed by mindful. And I think every human, black, white, green, orange, needs to be more mindful of what's actually going on, especially with Americans and all the things that's going on in our country.
Facts.
We need to be more mindful of what's going on, because it can sway your emotions in one direction or another. But if you're mindful of what's actually happened, you can still in that moment choose happiness. And that's what the What's Your Ness podcast is all about. We're about letting you know that in your mindfulness, never forget to choose your happiness, because your happiness is your choice.
Facts.
And if you're not mindful of that, you'll never be where you should be, where you could be, where you can be.
Facts.
So from the What's Your Ness podcast, Grandmaster Bay, my guy Corey, Spinny, What's Your Ness, Ness Culture, and Alex Great, please have your mindfulness of your happiness. And when you're being mindful, always choose happiness.
Wow.
Indeed.
You're
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much. Corey, thank you so much for being here. Great conversation. Alex, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be mindful.
Yeah.
And like you said, check the links below. We'll put links to those books, the chakras and the men fucking dummies. I mean, whatever. Well, I need to work on that. But yeah, we'll get those out
no man fucking dummy.
No, yeah.
too many men fucking dummies right now.
I mean, no judgment. If that's your thing, go for it. But
we judgmental. Fuck that.
All right, y'all. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time on the What's Your Nest podcast.
Yeah, bro. There's so many idiots out here, bro. Nothing you said is going to land on these fucking idiots, bro. They're fucking stupid. They're too stupid to fucking even articulate and understand what the fuck we were saying. So
we're still recording.
But this is a private conversation. Spinny, why would you fucking do that, bro? Cut it off.